No matter how bad your week is going, I think it's probably safe to say that it's not as bad as Justin Trudeau's week. And if it is, well, I'm sorry to hear that. You see, the once loyal, once subservient, and frankly hopeless legacy media that would do anything Justin Trudeau told them to do are no longer actually doing everything Justin Trudeau tells them to do. I can't believe I'm about to say this, and I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like a couple legacy media journalists might actually be doing their job. You also likely aren't dealing with an internal revolt against your leadership from officers within Canada's intelligence agency, with access to highly damaging and highly confidential documents. But Justin Trudeau is. And to top it all off, you likely didn't get rageed on Twitter on International Women's Day for saying that not only are women women, but also confused men who wear male outfits and claim to be women are also women, but Justin Trudeau did. Drop a like in the video, help us out by subscribing to the True North YouTube channel, and the comment question for the episode is this: will Justin Trudeau still be the Prime Minister of Canada come this time next year? Let me know, and let's get into it. If you spent any time on social media this week, you would know that Wednesday was International Women's Day. Now, in normal times, nobody would care about this. In fact, there likely wouldn't even be an International Women's Day. But in our woke land of lunacy, every company, every politician, and every institution have taken it upon themselves to not only remind us of International Women's Day by subjecting us to a constant barrage of never-ending woke social media posts, but it's also a day to preach the gospel of transgenderism. You see, commemorating International Women's Day in 2023 isn't actually about women. It appears to be more about celebrating transgender women. Now, if you don't believe me, just take Justin Trudeau's very serious, very statesman-like tweet from Wednesday. When women and girls are empowered, entire families, communities, societies succeed. So today, as we mark International Women's Day 2023 and celebrate incredible women and girls in our lives, let's keep working to build a more equal and equitable future. He could have just left it there, but he didn't. Justin Trudeau would never miss an opportunity to preach the perverse ideology of transgenderism. Of course he wouldn't. It continues. And with a disturbing rise in anti-transgender hate here in Canada and around the world recently, I want to be very clear about one more thing. Trans women are women. We will always stand up to this hate, whenever and wherever it occurs.
It's false. It's a fake. Wrong.
Trans women are not women, Justin Trudeau, and all you'd have to do to learn about that is to read the replies to your tweet. Read those comments, of which there are 8,191 at the time of this recording, to only 5,118 likes. And I think it goes without saying, but with numbers like that, Justin Trudeau takes home the Ratio of the Week prize this week. Here are some of my favorite comments. I suggest trusting the science on this one. People can do as they please, but in the end, there are only two genders. Thank you for sharing a belief of your religion with us. Not sharing your religion, and indeed not taking its silly beliefs seriously, is not hate. On the contrary, requiring people to pretend to share your religion is hateful and oppressive. Scary that you have power. When Justin Trudeau makes these outrageous and stupid tweets, what he's really doing is communicating the official stance of the Canadian government. The official stance of the Canadian government, as proclaimed by the leader of the Canadian government, is that on International Women's Day, actual women have to share this day with confused men who claim to be women. That's right, the perverted Oakville shop teacher who wears giant prosthetic breasts to school while also walking around outside of school as a man but claims to be a woman is a woman in the eyes of the Canadian government. The men who claim to be women just so that they can get access to female prisons to abuse female inmates are, in the eyes of the Canadian government, women. The Prime Minister is basically saying that he denies reality. He denies basic biological reality. Saying men can be women and women can be men is a denial of reality. But don't think about it too much, because if you do, you might just realize how far down this depressing and dark path we really are. Switching gears, the ongoing revolt against Justin Trudeau from inside CSIS continues to get worse for the Prime Minister. Just take a look at this latest leak that found its way onto global news. Two high-level memos allege Beijing covertly funded Canadian election candidates. Justin Trudeau said he was never briefed on the issue, and his security advisor has dismissed it out of hand. But two high-level national security reports before and after the 2019 election suggest they were warned that Chinese government officials were funneling money to Canadian political candidates. One is a special report prepared by the Privy Council Office for the Trudeau government and was date-stamped January 2022. The memo was also finalized, suggesting it was intended to be read by Trudeau and his senior aides. Reviewed by Global News, it asserted that Chinese officials in Toronto had disbursed money into a covert network tasked to interfere in Canada's 2019 election. While the Prime Minister's office confirmed to Global News on February 7 that Trudeau received and reviewed the NSI COP document, spokeswoman Alison Murphy gave a blanket denial Tuesday that he was aware of Beijing directing funds to political candidates. As the Prime Minister stated last fall, the statement reads, "We have no information on any federal candidates receiving money from China." So you have no information on any candidates receiving money from China, just like you told us back in November.
Mr. Speaker, the member opposite brought in the element of allegations of interference. I can confirm, based on the news reports that a number of people have been remarking on for the past number of weeks, that I have never gotten any information from any of our security agencies or police officers or intelligence officials or public servants on any information on anyone receiving, as a federal candidate, receiving money from China, as the allegations highlighted.
Except, of course, for the fact that now it appears he was briefed twice on that exact issue. So either Justin Trudeau received these high-level briefing notes alleging covert funding of candidates by the Chinese government and he never bothered to read them, or he's just not telling the truth. Now, it's a pretty safe bet to never trust Global News, but when Global News and Justin Trudeau are on opposite sides of the same issue, I'm probably going to go with Global News. Trudeau probably thought he could get away from this China scandal by having his good buddy Maurice Rosenberg, who used to oversee the Pierre Trudeau Foundation, write up a quick report about the 2021 election saying, "Nothing to see here. There's no problem here. Everyone would just move along." And it turns out that most Canadians aren't on side with Justin Trudeau. Most Canadians are quite concerned about Chinese election interference. And when I say most Canadians, I mean 91% of Canadians. So after running the numbers and realizing something had to be done, the Prime Minister had a bit of a conundrum on his hands. He had to respond. He had to do something that would appear strong, that would appear like he's really taking the issue seriously, but of course, not do anything that could possibly compromise his government or his own political career. He had to create a new position, a fake position, that would really get the attention of the press. So Justin Trudeau announced on Monday that he would be appointing a, quote, special rapporteur to write a report to tell the government whether or not they should pursue opening an inquiry.
In the coming days, we will appoint an eminent Canadian to the position of independent special rapporteur, who will have a wide mandate to make expert recommendations on protecting and enhancing Canadians' faith in our democracy. In the coming weeks, the independent special rapporteur will be responsible for informing the work of NSIRA and NSICOP and any other existing processes like those by Elections Canada, and to identify any gaps in our system. The independent special rapporteur will make public recommendations which could include a formal inquiry or some other independent review process.
Now, just like he did for the Emergencies Act inquiry, just like he did for the report on the 2021 federal election written by Maurice Rosenberg, Trudeau will simply just handpick the special rapporteur. Now, it's a pretty safe bet to expect the following things. Justin Trudeau says the special rapporteur will, of course, be independent. Now, that independent special rapporteur will likely have a history of working for the Liberal government, either in a staffing role, perhaps even a federal member of parliament or a bureaucrat, who are definitely not all Liberals. The special rapporteur will likely have a few years on him. He will want to appear wise and old, just like Justice Rouleau. And the other thing Canadians should expect, and they can actually take this one to the bank, that special rapporteur will most certainly write a report telling the government and telling Canadians no need to proceed any further. After my detailed and thorough investigation, I have confirmed that Justin Trudeau, dear leader, has done absolutely nothing wrong. Liberal candidates in 2019 and 2021 were not at all compromised by the CCP. Every person who wants to pursue this issue should simply just look away. There's nothing to see here. And even the legacy media, the parliamentary press in Ottawa, can smell the BS in the air. They know this song and dance. Even they aren't going to be fooled. Just look at the reception Justin Trudeau received from the once obedient, once loyal propagandists, who it appears no longer are willing to sing from Justin Trudeau's hymn sheet.
That is why an independent special rapporteur is going to be able to look at the entire landscape and dig deeply into everything anyone knew at any point and come back to it.
So you deny knowing ahead of the election. Sir, did you not?
Monsieur Poirier vous accuse d'avoir trahi la nation canadienne. À cause de cette incertitude-là, il vous accuse d'avoir trahi la nation canadienne.
Deserve to be looked at with deep seriousness.
You see, it's not all been bad for Justin Trudeau this week. After a very brief glimmer of hope that Jagmeet Singh might find a spine strong enough to actually oppose Justin Trudeau, well, not to worry for the Liberals because that non-existent spine is nowhere to be seen. Jagmeet Singh has been given his marching orders to accept this special rapporteur announcement from Justin Trudeau and completely back down from his calls for a public inquiry.
They're not met. When you get to the end of this process, you don't like the fact that they are not doing a public inquiry, the special rapporteur, would you withdraw your support?
That's not a decision we're making today, and we'll assess the information that comes before us, and we'll let you know once we see the next steps in terms of if they're satisfactory or not.
And for Pierre Poilievre waiting in the wings and licking his chops, well, all of this is just way too easy, isn't it? Just look at how Poilievre mocked the Trudeau Liberals for their special rapporteur announcement.
I forgot to mention, other than the secret committee that will see secret information and never actually publish any information, there will also be something called a rapporteur, a fake new position that they have invented. Rapporteur. Does it come with a costume? Maybe a cape or and a sword? Is the best they can come up with a fake position doing fake work? Why is it that they're trying to cover up the truth, Mr. Speaker?
And just to show you where our Prime Minister's priorities truly lie, Justin Trudeau tacked this little announcement to the back of his special rapporteur announcement.
And finally, today I can announce that we're investing $5.5 million to build capacity of civil society organizations to combat disinformation. Because we know disinformation, often generated abroad, can be a real threat to our elections, and it's a threat that the federal government cannot combat alone.
Now, Trudeau wants you to believe that what he's talking about is combating Chinese interference in our civil society. What he's really talking about is combating CSIS leakers, combating dissenters of Dear Leader from inside the government. And a reminder about the common question: will Justin Trudeau still be the Prime Minister come this time next year? All right, that's going to do it for us this week on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Harrison Faulkner, and this is Ratio.